Thank you, Mr President. I rise to speak against the Statute's Amendment Sex Industry Exit Strategies and Spent Convictions Bill. In so doing, I draw on the long-standing policy of the Greens. We have always supported the decriminalisation of sex work and indeed my own views personally. On a personal level, I have always supported the decriminalisation of sex work. And I think it's high time that South Australia joined other states in legislating in that regard. But I think it's relevant to this debate, Mr President, to look at the views of people that work in this industry. And so I do just want to take a few minutes to read the statement that has been provided to me by SIN, the South Australian the Sex Industry Network. So SIN is a peer-based organisation funded by SA Health to promote the health, rights and well-being of SA's sex workers. And reading from their correspondence, we are a member-based organisation and we are best placed to deliver broad and consultative feedback on legislation affecting sex workers. They note that in June of 2024, the Honourable Nicholas Centofanti MLC introduced a bill to amend the Spent Convictions Act of 2009 and the Summary Offences Act of 1953. The bill seeks to do the following: expunge certain sex industry-related convictions under strict parameters, apply for ministerial assistance to leave the sex industry, and change the definition of sex work in current legislation. While SIN and the broader sex worker rights movement support spent convictions and expedited assistance for sex workers, we have grave concerns regarding the following. And I'll read out some of their concerns, Mr President, for the benefit of Hansard. The parameters for accessing spent convictions and amendments. In the Honourable Nicholas Centofanti's bill, an individual must demonstrate they have been out of the sex industry for a minimum of 3 months. They must also demonstrate an intention not to engage in sex work in the future. It is not clear how or what demonstration may involve. The inclusion of these caveats is stigmatising and discriminatory. The bill is effectively saying that only the cohort able to access spent conviction amendments are those who have renounced the sex industry and positioned themselves as victims. These amendments do not recognise sex work as work and do not acknowledge the value inherent in spent convictions for sex workers more broadly. The parameters for accessing ministerial assistance. The bill requires the minister to be reasonably satisfied that the applicant genuinely wishes to leave the sex industry. Leaving the sex industry involves demonstrating an intention not to engage in sex work in the future. The nature of this demonstration is not clear, nor are the government's financial and administrative responsibilities and parameters regarding assistance. The barriers existing criminalisation laws cause. Under the current criminalised framework, many sex workers have no appetite to engage formal government support. The ministerial assistance program proposed by Centofanti's bill, the Honourable Nicholas Centofanti's bill, will require disclosure of sex worker status to a government body. This, coupled with a requirement to demonstrate a genuine desire to leave the sex industry, will cause many past and present sex workers to reject the strategy outright. And finally, the correspondence notes the title of the bill and the language in the bill. They note that language is powerful. Using the word exit is stigmatising and derogatory. This is targeted language that we don't use for any other industry. We recommend removing any mention of exiting the sex industry and using alternative language instead. And I am inclined to agree, Mr President, that a lot of the language in this debate features quite paternalistic and patronising assumptions about people who work in sex work and assumptions about their life conditions and their personal circumstances. SIN recommends opposing the bill in its current form, and I support their recommendation.